Why did Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene call Laura Loomer racist? And what behavior got Loomer kicked off Venmo, Uber, Facebook, and other digital media platforms? Here's what we know about the far-right influencer who calls herself the most banned woman in America. Loomer's beliefs range from conspiratorial to prejudiced. She declared herself a proud Islamophobe on X in 2017, calling Islam a cancer and expressing her view that Muslims shouldn't be able to hold political office in the US. Needless to say, these views are far right of people on the far right, but they also align with Trump's Muslim ban. Soon after taking office in 2017, Trump issued an executive order banning people entry into the US if they originated from a list of countries, many of which were predominantly Muslim. Loomer was fully on board with this, which shouldn't come as a surprise given her public opinions. In one instance, she wrote, "Someone needs to create a non-Islamic form of Uber or Lyft because I never want to support another Islamic immigrant driver." Of course, calling oneself a proud Islamophobe has consequences, and that comment resulted in a ban from both Uber and Lyft. There's been a pattern in social media and tech companies where far-right talking points are removed from various platforms, like when they spread misinformation or are patently false. And Laura Loomer has been on the receiving end of several bans. Because she's offended so many people and received a plethora of bans, Loomer has gone up against these big tech companies, calling them out for their purported left-leaning biases. Loomer calls herself the most banned woman on the internet. That's not necessarily an incorrect distinction, because she has been banned by a lot of companies. After she dropped some less-than-kind comments on X about U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar in 2018, Loomer received a ban. She has similarly been banned by Facebook, Instagram, Lyft, Uber, PayPal, Venmo, Comcast, and Uber Eats. After Trump-supporting billionaire Elon Musk purchased Twitter and transformed it into X, he allowed previously banned people back on, including Loomer. If Donald Trump sold Kool-Aid, you can bet Laura Loomer would be the first person in line. Just as Trump has claimed he didn't lose the 2020 presidential election, so too has one of his most outspoken supporters. At a campaign event, Loomer arrived draped in a flag emblazoned with "Trump won. I know it, you know it." Loomer's stance on the 2020 election further pushed the lie regarding widespread voter fraud, despite the complete and total lack of evidence supporting such claims. Loomer's vocal support for these claims likely enamored her to Trump. Similar to the Trump campaign, Loomer has also made claims about undocumented immigrants illegally voting in U.S. elections, which, it should be noted, has not been proven in court. Regardless, Loomer is fully on board with the big lie, and she has repeatedly played the victim surrounding these issues. Loomer wears many hats, including that of a political candidate, though she's never won a general election. In the primary for Florida's 2020 congressional election, Loomer beat out 5 other Republicans to challenge incumbent Democrat Lois Frankel for Florida's 21st congressional district. Loomer was considered a long shot, given how entrenched Frankel was in the seat, and Loomer lost the election by nearly 20 points. After failing to win the 21st district seat in 2020, Loomer tried once more in Florida's 11th congressional district. She challenged incumbent Republican Daniel Webster in the primary, but he ended up beating her by nearly 7 points. Loomer, ever the Trump supporter, claimed big tech election interference and refused to concede her loss.
I'm not conceding because I'm a winner, and the reality is our Republican Party is broken to its core.
Refusing to concede a clear election loss is straight out of the Trump political playbook, so it's not surprising Loomer would follow suit. When the COVID-19 pandemic began to escalate in 2020, Donald Trump downplayed the virus's lethality. Laura Loomer soon followed suit, expressing in December 2020, "I hope I get COVID just so I can prove to people I've had bouts of food poisoning that are more serious and life-threatening than a hyped-up virus." Loomer eventually got her wish, and in September 2021, she contracted the virus. Loomer fell ill, but it didn't take long for her condition to worsen significantly. She told her supporters on Telegram that she was in a lot of pain and hoped people would pray for her, writing, "Can't even begin to explain how brutal the body aches and nausea that come with COVID are. I am in so much pain." It wouldn't be unusual for a person to come out of that experience with a hefty respect for the virus and its newly developed vaccine. But not Loomer. She went the other direction and not only didn't change her views, she doubled down on them. After recovering from COVID, Loomer decried the vaccines, claiming they were unsafe and ineffective, and saying she'd never get a COVID vaccine in the future. Loomer is someone who plays the victim whenever it suits her, but she's not afraid to go on the attack. This is especially true when it comes to other women, as she's criticized many prominent women in and out of politics. Loomer has even gone up against right-wing Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Loomer posted on X that if Kamala Harris won the presidency, the White House will smell like curry, and White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center. Greene called out Loomer's post as, quote, appalling and extremely racist.
I have concerns about her rhetoric and her hateful tone.
While trying to justify the racist tweet, Loomer attacked Greene's anti-Semitic views and brought up allegations of Greene cheating on her former husband, writing on X. Along with being an anti-Semite, MTG is also a poor excuse for a Christian. Getting on MTG's bad side when you're a far-right activist is jarring. Loomer and Greene were even previously close friends, but it seems at some point the two ideologically diverted, resulting in MAGA infighting. Throughout her career, Laura Loomer has held press credentials from a number of organizations. This has made it possible for Loomer to enter into areas otherwise off-limits to most folks. But it's also gotten her into trouble a time or two. When she was working for Illuminate Media, Loomer got into trouble in Central Florida. She was at the trial of Noor Salman, the wife of Omar Mateen, who committed the Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016. Loomer followed Salman into the parking lot of the courthouse and launched a series of questions at her.
And then you said that her son wants to color Easter eggs. Well, isn't Noor Salman Muslim? Why is she celebrating Easter?
This harassment didn't go over well with Salman, nor the judge overseeing her case. Soon after the event, Loomer took to X where she wrote, U.S. District Judge Paul Byron issued a court order banning me from the court as a member of the press and the public for the duration of the Noor Salman trial. She went on to call her banning political in nature and a violation of her First Amendment rights. Loomer, who is Jewish, has never been shy about throwing around accusations of anti-Semitism. While those sorts of accusations can sometimes be warranted, Loomer tends to throw them around whenever she disagrees with someone on the left, which is often. She's even come out against Jewish Democrats, equating them to the Jews who were forced to work in concentration camps. During a 2024 appearance on the John Fredericks show, Loomer made it very clear how she feels about Jewish Democrats. She said on the show, "That's basically what modern Democrat Jews are. They're capo Jews. You might as well just go put yourself in a gas chamber yourself if this is how you're gonna behave. Because the crocodile might eat you last, but the crocodile is still going to eat you. And I don't care how inflammatory that sounds." On top of that, Loomer appeared on the Timcast IRL podcast, where she said plenty about what should happen to Democrats should Trump win the election. Loomer expressed her view that Democrats should go to jail, but quickly reversed herself and said, not just jail, they should get the death penalty. You know, we actually used to have the punishment for treason in this country. There's a long list of derogatory statements Laura Loomer has made about people who aren't white. And given how unapologetic she is, it's likely that list will continue to grow. On Loomer Unleashed, she went on a rant about how several prominent Democratic women have irritating voices.
I'm talking about Kamala Harris, Letitia James, and Fani Willis. Like all of the meritless DEI Shaniquas talk the same way.
On top of that, while Loomer is Jewish, she seemingly had no problem rubbing elbows with neo-Nazis, Klansmen, and others at the American Renaissance Conference in 2022. She said during a speech at the event, "I consider myself to be a white advocate, and I openly campaigned for the United States Congress as a white advocate."
So the hostile takeover of the Republican Party.
Absolutely.
Loomer also considers herself to be a white nationalist, and she isn't just a member of that side. She's one of its loudest proponents. Laura Loomer embraces numerous conspiracy theories, and these beliefs tend to bump up against established facts and reality. One such wide-reaching conspiracy theory that is far more damaging to victims than others is her belief that many mass shootings aren't entirely real. For example, after the deadly 2017 Las Vegas shooting, Loomer embraced the theory that ISIS was involved and that the FBI was engaging in a cover-up. She's also gone after victims of school shootings, claiming many of them were staged. For the victims of the 2018 Parkland High School shooting, Loomer insisted the survivors were being told what to say, claiming in a tweet, "It's obvious these kids are reading a screen or notes someone else wrote for them."
It's that people think that I'm an actor, but I mean, I don't have time to care about that.
The reasoning behind this fringe conspiracy theory that all of these shootings are being staged so the Democrats would have an excuse to take away people's guns. This is, of course, nonsense, but that doesn't mean Loomer's actions around victims of gun violence aren't incredibly damaging and disrespectful.